In the new sequence dialog box, we see there are 3 tabs that we can take a look at when we're creating our new sequence. Now, if we're using video that we're not familiar with, we can actually click cancel at this point and go into Premiere Pro and create our sequences once we're in the project. But we're going to go ahead and create a sequence at this point and show you what the different settings available are. So here on the left, the first tab that's available is called Sequence Presets. These are all different presets that are already configured for you, and they're broken down into different categories. The default goes to just digital video, NTSC. That's used in the United States for the video broadcast. PAL, or PAL, is used in Europe as well as many parts of Asia, South America, and Africa. Since we're in the US, we'll be sticking to the NTSC, and you can also see that there's other settings available as well. Under the XF MPEG-2 dropdown, we have settings specific to the settings you recorded your video in, whether it was 720p, 1080p, or 1080i. All 3 of these settings are HD, or high definition. 720p is a lower quality HD format with progressive rate frame scan. The 720 stands for 720 vertical pixels. 1080p is a higher quality HD format with 1080 vertical pixels. 1080i is the same, except instead of progressive scan, the individual fields are interlaced. Progressive scan means that each frame of video is recorded and appears line by line. Interlaced means that each frame is broken down into 2 fields, where each field contains every other line of video. In NTSC, you get almost 30 frames a second, actually 29.97 frames a second. When it's interlaced, you get almost 60 fields a second, or 59.94 fields a second. Under AVCHD, that's what my camera uses. I can also see I have those same types of categories, and I can go in and see different settings for those. And your camera provider should tell you which settings would work for yours. Here we see digital SLR. So here again, if you're just working with a regular SLR camera that's usually just uses for still pictures, many of those do allow you to take video now. You would find settings in there. So here we can see we can work with RED, HDV, mobile devices. So if you're actually working off of maybe your iPhone or another mobile device or a quick cam, you can find different settings for those. So what ideally Adobe wants you to do is to use a preset that's already available for you and not actually customize it. However, if your settings are different and they don't fall under one of these, you can go into settings, and this is where you can actually customize it and create your own preset for your device. Again, your device's manual will give you these settings so that you can set them appropriately. So here we can see editing mode, all the different categories that we saw on our sequence presets tab, and here's our time base, which we can see there's only one choice for that. And then here are frame size and the pixel aspect ratio, etc. on down. And again, we can make modifications if, again, we need to customize a preset because of the device that we're using and it's not available in the sequence preset list. Then here we can actually click on Save Preset and save this so that it will become available to us every time we use that device. Under Tracks, you can actually decide in advance how many tracks you're going to use. We can also customize this or edit this once we're in the Premiere Pro project. Now, we'll go ahead and leave this at 3 video tracks for now. We'll probably be using additional ones beyond that. And let's go ahead and get rid of a couple of these audio tracks because we don't need all of them. So we can actually click a little check mark here where it says select this track for deletion. And then we can click our minus sign here at the top, and we can put us down to just one audio track. And by default, the name of that track is going to be Audio 1. And we can change that now, or we can change it once we get into our project file. Again, we have these 3 different tabs we can work with our sequences. Down here at the bottom, we can give a name to our sequence. By default, it's called Sequence 01. We can choose to name it here, or again, we can wait until we're into our project and we start working and decide later if we want to change the name of it. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And this will open up our Premiere Pro project. In our project window, we can see down here on the left, our project name is Boston, and here's the file name, boston.prproj. That's Premiere Project. That's the file extension for any Premiere Pro project. If for some reason you don't see the Project tab, you can go up to the Windows menu and select it from there, or use the keyboard shortcut Shift-1. And again, at the top on our title window, we can also see the path of where our project is being saved and the name of our project. And then we have our sequence that we just created called Sequence 1. It's sitting here in our projects panel, and it's also open up here on our timeline as sequence 1.